ProView Networks.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to win on the road in league, but at some point you've got to, and you got to get games like this. Last night, not good for New Mexico in Las Vegas. They went out, could not hit threes, could not defend a big dude named Caleb Boone, and the Lobos find themselves under 500 in conference play at 1-2 and coming home to face the Aztecs. Good morning and happy Wednesday to you. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck in D.C., late night in Vegas. We're here for you early morning. How you living?
What it do?
You all right back there?
I'm fantastic.
Hoodie day here at the OD and the AM, huh?
I noticed that.
Very much so.
Yeah, I think that's right. All right, dude. I don't want to go overboard on this because it was one game and it was in Vegas and it was on the road. But you got 3 looks at the Lobos in league play so far, 2 on the road. And I said this to you on the way out yesterday. I didn't say it on the air, but remember on the way out, Stigler was in here and he came in and he said, "Gosh, they're only 2.5-point favorites." And I said, the Lobos have played 3 true road games this year, right? 3. They lost at St. Mary's, they lost to Colorado State, and they beat a not very good New Mexico State team by 1 on the road, right? I think that's where the spread comes in. At some point, they're going to have to start playing better on the road.
They have to.
And this doesn't include neutral games, right?
No, you're down 17 points at Colorado State. Coming off that one, you're like, okay, a top 2 team, the best in a lot of people's eyes in the conference, beat you at home, you have to hold serve. You're down 21 points in the second half. And it's the 3rd game in a row, and Rich Pitino talks about it in his post-game comments with Robert Portnoy and Hunter Green on the radio, that 3 games in a row, they've come out flat after halftime. And to be down 21 points at UNLV, that last push, you cannot be like, all right, we're playing hard, went on a 14-4 run. Why are you down 21 points? This is a team that right now is nowhere near anything that this fan base that themselves expected. It's 3 games in a conference play. But these are the games you cannot lose if you want to be a Mountain West contender. Because you know who looks like a top 5 team? Boise State, not New Mexico.
A team I watched last night sure as hell did too. Right? I mean,
San Jose State playing better than New Mexico.
Pushed Boise State and really pushed the Aztecs to the brink last night. Yeah. Utah State, obviously, they won again last night. Colorado State, San Diego State still undefeated in league, and they're coming in on Saturday. This is a team, JJ, we talked a lot about how much better their defense had gotten. And I said, okay, and that's right, but I need to see their defense be really good against league play, right? And I don't want to say this feels like last year, reminiscent of last year, gaudy non-league record, and then what happens when you get to league, because we're only 3 games in. But the teams that you're seeing, and even Colorado State, what's coming in on Saturday, and then where you're going next week to Logan, are better than Louisiana Tech and Santa Clara and New Mexico State and Toledo and Rice and UT Arlington, right? And so look, here's the reality. If you are trying to build a resume to be considered for an at-large team if you don't win in 3 days, and dare I say 4 days in Vegas right now, JJ. I mean, the top 5 get the bye, and you're saying right now that they're not a top 5 team. To your point, you've got to start winning these kinds of games. And I get it, it's tough to win on the road. And I'm not telling you the sky has fallen, but it got a little cloudier.
Absolutely. This is a game, if you look at New Mexico's schedule, and you say, all right, they have opportunities when they come home. They absolutely do. San Diego State, Nevada, Utah State, all this month in the pit. And so there's chances to get back. And the season is far from over. But that is 2 disappointing losses. Like this second half was worse than Colorado State. And you can talk yourself into understanding why that Colorado State second half would be so rough. Nothing looked good for the Lobos last night. The first half, they grinded. They kept it a 2-point game. But there's a lot of things I assumed at this team that they're not showing. They look small.
They look small.
And I was expecting Nelly Jr. Joseph to be a plug-and-play defensive center, and that has not been the case.
No, certainly last night, and Caleb Boone had his way. All right, let's open it up. 505-246-0610. That's the phone number here at the Sports Animal. It is also the text line. Emails coming in this morning, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ's on the Twitter. It's _JJ Buck. You can call it X if you prefer, because that's what it's really called now. We're on the Facebook, the OD in the AM. You can watch the show Adrian produces there. It's also on Comcast Channel 26. For context, it's not a horrible loss as far as the computer rankings and all that. UNLV is net ranking 109. But you got to start getting some road wins and where they're coming from. You want to talk about it? We want to hear what you have to say. Let's go. Art, you're up first. Good morning, Art. You're on the Sports Animal. Good day, sir.
Good morning there, my friends. Yeah, I just have a couple observations. As you mentioned earlier, it's almost like a replay of last year a little bit. If you look in the league play a little bit, our big guys, exception of the freshman kid that plays with a little muscle, our number one, Joseph, he's letting these guys just push him around like silly putty. And House, Ashburn, they're not clicking with it at all. I don't know what's going on with those three with their relationship. But there's a problem there. Baker's afraid to shoot. Dang it, if our big men are not playing, let the 7-footer go in there and bang. You got nothing to lose. I don't know if he got in Patino's doghouse, but you got to put somebody out there who's going to have some heart and actually willing to bump up and play. And I'm sick of seeing this. I'm going to get mine and screw everybody else. But there's some issues, and he needs to get it squared away, or he's going to lose his fan base. Because right now, New Mexico is not even in the top 60. That's where they're playing, and if they continue to play like this, don't worry about any NCAA or even NIT, much less that. We need to get this hole in the bow fixed pretty quickly. Then I'll hang on. Thank you, Jeff.
Appreciate you, Art. So what I'm hearing there is the chemistry stuff. The 7-footer he's calling for, I believe, is Sebastian Forsling to come off the bench. And so the rotation is basically an 8-man rotation. Isaac Mushila got 4 minutes yesterday and turned the ball over. Do you feel there's a chemistry issue with the three guards? And maybe it's because, Mashburn was out for 7 games and is still trying to find his way back. House has been dealing with foul trouble. He had we got to get into the technical foul he had last night.
Yeah, I think Mash has been pressing a little bit, trying to get in a rhythm. Last night was a credit to UNLV defensively. That length bothered Donovan at Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn Jr. And when you look at the Lobos offense, a lot of it was dump it inside. They'd run the pick and roll, drive, drop it to the big guy on the weak side. The simple things that we see in this team. And it's more that they just weren't getting good shots as opposed to that they can't play together. And that UNLV frustrated them with the pressure. And if you see that, it's one where you're, okay, how do you get better from that? If length is going to be a problem, you're not getting bigger.
Marty, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Marty.
Hey, I agree a few parts with that last caller. Here's the deal. The 3-guard thing is not the problem. You just have the wrong 3 guards. True Washington is, and I know you guys are all in love with Jamal Mashburn. I'm not. I am not. Ball-centric, ball hog. Flat shot, got to be perfect. And here's what I say about him. Every shot looks like a struggle. Every shot looks like painful for me. It goes in sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it doesn't. True, to me right now, this point in time, is a much better overall better basketball player. So why the hell is he on the bench?
Yeah, and I think he gives you length defensively at the guard position. Now, he played 23 minutes, and Mashburn played 29, to your point. Dent 28, House 27, True Washington played 23. So he's getting his minutes. 9 points. He turned it over 3 times. Didn't have an assist, but did have 5 steals. I love what he does defensively. And when JJ said, they look small, that to me, JJ, I think you were talking about on the defensive side, right? And that would go to what Marty's saying is, and Marty, I'll
It
say
looks small on offense.
Yeah, but for a true freshman, Marty, I think he's getting minutes, and it feels like his minutes are increasing at 23.
He is, but I think sometimes it's the quality of it. So sometimes he comes in, sometimes it could be garbage minutes, sometimes it could be at the end of the half. I think he needs to be a starter. I think Mashburn might even be more effective off the bench because he is looking over his shoulder. He is, whether we know it or not, he is. He's looking over his shoulder because he's looking at this kid, possibly, that is a better player than him already. And I know psychologically that's how it is in basketball. And here's another thing: you're not using your size right. You got to get 30 minutes from Sebastian. Get in there and hack. Sometimes we have fouls from, say, JT or Joseph. Those fouls can be given by Sebastian. Get in there and get some 30 minutes. He's got to get at least 12, 14, 15 minutes. He's got size. Size will disrupt players. It will, whether you can jump out of the gym or not. 7 feet is 7 feet. You can't teach 7 feet. But I don't know. I just don't. I'm seeing the same pattern with Pitino with the use of his bench. And he's got to get these quality road wins to convince me that overall, he is a quality coach. I saw the same thing in Minnesota. I got to see it. I got to see it to believe it. But I don't think he utilizes his players correctly. He's got some other players on the bench he can pull too. But that's what I'm saying. But you got to put your best. You got to put your best guys out there, man. Yeah. I don't know about Mashburn's dad and all that. I don't know. Yeah. You got to put your best players out there. No, that's what I'm hearing.
Thanks, Marty. All right. I think Mashburn's a hell of a player. I think he's scuffed. I think he's a hell of an offensive player.
Is a guy that, for taking tough shots, for being a jump shooter, shot 42% from the floor last season.
Yeah.
In this moment, if you want to think about bringing him off the bench to try to spark him, either flow, I get that.
And I've heard that a lot lately. There's a number of people who I've heard say, Mashburn should come off the bench. And I don't know. I don't know that I agree with that, but I'm going to tell you, if you keep scuffling, I'm going to listen to everything.
And it's an ego thing, as Marty mentioned. It's really difficult. But could you find a better flow offensively? Could you spark the second unit being one of the focal points and then start working in those guard rotations? Because you got to figure out something, because there's going to be a team here on Saturday that is not smaller than UNLV.
No, they're
just as big.
They're as big. They're as athletic, if not more athletic. They have experience. They have confidence. They win on the road. They've got. They believe in themselves. And that's San Diego State, who's coming in. I got this on the texter. It says, "Well, I certainly think Lobo fans are overreacting. What this does show is the need to play a tougher schedule in the non-conference, especially some tough road games." You buy that? Because I think there's something to that.
There is. It's
easier said than done.
It's easier said than done, because you're going to have to just say you have to go take games and not have home and home. But I think at this point in time, fans would be fine with that. And go play a couple tough games on your schedule like Boise State did. And then on conference, go back and look at some of the games that they played. I don't think it's an overreaction. You're down 17 and 21 points in 2 road games in the second half.
Well,
that's not giving yourself a chance.
I'm going to give you your 4 road games, your 4 true road games. You lost at St. Mary's relatively convincingly, right? You lost at you played New Mexico State, you won by a point, right? On a miraculous play by Dent. You lost at Colorado State handily, and you lost by double digits at UNLV. At some point, right? You've got to break through and win on the road. I look at Utah State's schedule. I'm not that impressed. I don't know what they did, but heck, if I was them and completely retooled, I'm not sure I'd have gone out and made a juggernaut either. But meanwhile, they're coming back now, and now they haven't had to go on the road yet. Next week they go on the road. They go at UNLV, and
Nevada is very similar to New Mexico.
Nevada is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the other one as we go down the list?
Is the Utah State game here next week?
Yes,
it is.
They get San Diego State, Utah State, Nevada, and Boise State all at home in January.
Oh, I'll tell you what, man. You got to win those games, because the road's going to get slippery come February. 505-246-0610, 8889-220-0610. Keep them coming. I want to hear your thoughts Lowell basketball's lost last night, 83-73 at the Thomas and Mack Center to the Rebels. When we come back, Jalen House, foul trouble, a little technical foul. But I'll tell you what, man, you need him on the floor. Why? Well, that's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football and the Super Bowl.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Show this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated,
Rip, plaster,
destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
1-2 in conference play, 13-3 overall. San Diego State will be in town on Saturday afternoon at noon. They are asking you to check your section. Well, first of all, they're asking you to go to the game, right? I mean, that's kind of a big deal. They're asking you to make sure, hey, you go to the game. And then they are asking you to check your section. You're supposed to be color coordinated, either wear red or white. So there's you can go to Go Lobos, and it'll be all over social media. But I'm just passing along the requests from UNM. It's a stripe out, boys and girls. A stripe out is what we're calling, not a strike out. That's very different. This will be a stripe out at the pit. All right, JJ, a couple of things. So against Wyoming, Lobos forced 23 turnovers, I believe, 16 steals. We talked about how good they were defensively. Last night, they had 5 steals total, all of them by one player, True Washington, coming off the bench in his 22 minutes. Okay, that's a problem. Last week against Wyoming at the pit, the Lobos turned the ball over only 6 times. That was a season low. Last night on the road, they turned it over 16 times. That is a season high. Okay, so the turnovers matter. Turnovers, I don't care what the sport is, right? We have football coaches that tell us, what's the key to the game? Well, I mean, don't turn the ball over and right? It's always the first thing. This is where I like what they do defensively against teams who they are physically better than, right? Talently better than. There's going to be teams, and say Colorado State, Nevada, and Utah State, but the team you watched last night in Boise State are going to be just as, or about just as, or maybe more talented than you are in this league.
26-8 points off turnovers.
That's a problem.
Advantage for UNLV, and it just goes back to the pressure, the length. If that bothers you again, that's not changing. And
not just on the perimeter either,
and inside, and that's of the frustrating thing. I think you can figure out the guards, because we've seen moments where those players work together. If you want to have a legit conversation about flipping True Washington and Jamal Mashburn Jr., I think that could be a good thing for this team right now. Bring Mashburn off the bench, work the rotation differently, because Jamal Mashburn is still a guy. You look, yesterday 4-9, 5-5 at the free throw line, scored 13 points. You need a tough shot maker because there's not a lot of creativity on offense right now. But then you also want to see True Washington with his size and defense in there, and that's challenge Rich Pitino has to figure out moving forward. The frustrating thing for me too is I thought Nelly Jr. Joseph was plug and play defensive center. It was going to be a reason this team was better because of the athleticism, the length inside. And in their road games in conference play, they've been beaten up inside in both games.
I agree with that. And to me, the best post offensive player is Toppin.
That doesn't surprise me.
I'm surprised how good he's been.
Yeah. But I mean, of the two forwards.
I get it. Jeffrey, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Good. What's up?
Not much. You just talked about a lot of what I was thinking, but so I've actually been able to watch quite a few conference games and some non-conference games, and right now I see 3 teams that are winning games they should, no matter what the wins look like, and that's Nevada, San Diego State, and Utah State. And honestly, I think Utah State was a little underrated by a lot of people. And when you're just talking about, size and length and all that stuff bothering you by teams that are more talented, I think what you have to be, and I'm specifically talking about the Lobos, is more disciplined to win the game. And the last couple of games, Jalen House has not been playing discipline. And we talked about it a couple games ago, and I called it erratic, and I know you called it emotional, but I think he gets, I don't know if it's in his head or emotional, but getting the technical foul and maybe trying to do too much sometimes. This team right now looks like it could be like a high mid-range team in our conference. And if you want to beat the teams that are better than you, you have to play more disciplined. You have to make passes. You have to avoid the turnovers. And you can't just, it can't just be one pass and shoot the three. I think Nelly Jr. Joseph JJ was spot on with what he said. I don't think the guy has soft hands, and I've noticed this when he's under the basket. He gets position, he's got strength, but I just don't see the guy as having soft hands because he misses a lot of, under the rim type of shots. So one thing I wish Coach would do is call more timeouts when teams are going on runs against us. For some reason, he doesn't seem to do that. And when they started the second half last night on a 21-8 run, you just didn't feel like this team had it in them to come back. So I hope they figure it out, because if they play anywhere near like they have the last two games on Saturday, it's going to be a complete and total beatdown by a team that makes the other two teams that beat us look less than. So that's all I got, guys.
Appreciate you, Jeff. He said a lot of what you said, right? Expounding on Nelly as well. Second half, you got beat 43-35. It was 40-38 at halftime. And you got Richard Pitino. This was on the post-game show last night over on News Radio KKOB and along the UNM radio network. Robert Portnoy, Hunter Green, we were talking to Richard Pitino after the game. And Robert asked him, he said, Coach, you were down 2 at half. What were you seeing? And talking a little bit about where they were at halftime and then going into the second half.
Obviously, again, we second game in a row, really third game in a row coming out of halftime. We just didn't have the pop that we did in the first half. I think we've played in conference 3 really good first halves. But for whatever reason, we're not coming out. We're not ready to go in the first 4 minutes. So starts with me and the coaching staff. We got to get them more ready coming out of there. They made a run. It was kind of felt similar to Colorado State a little bit. We came back. Give them credit. They played well, but I know we're better than this.
All right. So I'm not going to sit here. He knows his team. And we've heard people, you got to play Forsling and you got to play this guy. And he sees Forsling in practice every day, JJ. I'm going to guess, as Marty said, you can't teach 7 feet. But if he's not ready to go out and play, and if Caleb Boone was having his way with Nelly Jr. Joseph, and if you think he's going to have his way with Forsling, then why throw him out there? Well, you can use the body. I'm going to lean on the coach, because I know the coach is trying to win. He's throwing out his best players, right? And we're going to talk about rotations and all of this. All I know is you got 3 really, really talented guards, and you got an insanely talented freshman big guy, okay? And then you got the way I look at this, I think True Washington is a star in the making. Nelly is what is Nelly?
Disappointing.
So you think he's disappointing?
It's because I thought the one thing with Nelly Jr. Joseph, it's a huge step back for Morris Udeze. But I thought this team would be better because Nelly Jr. Joseph is a defensive player.
That's where I thought. So I'm a little
with this
disappointed
length,
defensively.
the blocks, a post presence defensively, and that hasn't been there. And so now you get a combination of a team that your starting center isn't making as big of an impact defensively in the tough games. We've seen it against the smaller teams, what they did against Wyoming, even going back to the New Mexico State game. Like Nelly Jr. Joseph, when he was away from the basket, they were playing a better defense when they're trapping off the pick and rolls, putting pressure on it. But when he's been in one-on-one situations under the basket, I haven't felt that defensive presence that I was expecting from him.
Yeah, Caleb Boone last night was 11 for 16, and really, really took the game over. 6'9". He's the kid who played at Oklahoma State, and really was good in the paint. All right, 505-246-0610. You got a lot of comments. I'll get you your comments on Lobo basketball last night. When we get back, look, Lobos weren't the only one who took it on the road last night. It was a tough night to be a favored team in college basketball on the road, ask number one or number two or anybody in this league. Get you that whole story and put it into a little bit different perspective for you as the Aztecs come to town on Saturday for the stripe out game. So we'll do that when we get back. Winter's hitting hard again. I guess we're getting pounded again tomorrow. How's your car look? I know how your car looks. I don't even have to ask. If it looks like mine, it looks like everybody else's. It's filthy, it's dirty. You pulled all the mud, the snow, and the junk in. Call my friends at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. On the Spot Automotive Detailing will take care of it, get all that dirt and mud and road salt off your vehicle. They'll detail your vehicle inside, outside, around the rims, under the hood, under the seats. Remember when you took it off the lot? Remember the day you brought it home? And it was fun to drive, and you kept it all clean for a while, and then about a month later, all right. Well, you can get back to that, and you don't have to get a new car. On the Spot Automotive Detailing will come to you and do that at your convenience, where it works for you, when it works for you. Again, I don't know where their place is. It doesn't matter. They know where my place is. They come out while I'm working in the office. They're out in the parking lot, and when they're done, my car looks and feels and smells like it's brand new. They've been awarded Best of the City in 2023 because they're reliable. They're efficient. They're the best at what they do. Look at them online. You can book and buy there. It is a great Valentine's gift, boys and girls. I mean, what are we, 5 weeks away?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I know. Get out of Christmas and it's Valentine's Day. This one works. I did this a couple Valentines ago, I think. Winter. I even got dinner, I think. All right, OTSDetailing.com. It's OTSDetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, You shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
To remain in contention at the top. Not worried yet, but ... It's from Chris. This one says, and let me put this into context. JJ, we had 2 callers this morning, Art and Marty, both calling for Forsling. They want to see Sebastian Forsling, which is not something I thought I'd hear this year. But they think that he's a big body. You can't teach 7 feet, throw some fouls at a guy like Caleb Boone, who went for 29 points last night. This one says, Forsling is soft and slow with hands of stone and absolutely not a D1 player. The notion we can put him into, quote, fix, end quote, things is completely comical. I lean towards the texter more than I do towards Art and Marty on the Forsling thing, and I'll tell you why. I've seen him play. I think, again, I haven't seen a lot this year. I thought the progress was slower than I would have hoped, and I'm going to tell you that Richard Pitino and that staff sees him play every day in practice, and if he could contribute, I got to believe he'd be in there.
Forsling's a Division I basketball player. Might not be the Division I basketball player you think he is, but not every dude on that roster is going to be able to step in the court and play 20 minutes. He is a great teammate.
Can he give you 8 minutes?
That's up to the coach. That's up to the coach.
Yeah.
Put him on the floor.
So you want to see him a little bit, play some defense, see if he can play some defense. Because I'm surprised.
Because that's a comment we've gotten a lot from that person that hates Sebastian Forsling. I'm not going there because you need people on the roster that are good teammates, that bring energy on the bench, and that's Sebastian Forsling. Now, are you getting double-digit minutes from him in a game every single night? You're not.
Well, this is where I go, and I keep using the word surprise, but surprise it connotates a positive emotion. I'm surprised that Nelly Jr. Joseph hasn't been better defensively in the post. So what is that? Is that equal disappointed? Whatever it is. And so the notion is, would Forsling help you there? Would a big body help you on post defense, right? And what I'm telling you is, I got to believe if he could, he would. And I know,
part of it, too, is what they want to run.
Offensively.
And then, yes.
Yeah, I get that part. But you got outscored by 8 in the second half. You've been getting beat in the second half, and you've been getting beat by the bigs. And can he help you in the post? And again, I'm going to keep going back to this because I'm not at practice every day. I'm not even going to pretend that I've been at practice in a while. But Richard Pitino and that staff sees Sebastian Forsling every day. And I got to believe if they think he could help and stop Caleb Boone, then he would be in there. Their job is to win, man. They get paid to win. They get paid more when they win more, right? They're incentivized. And I got to believe if Sebastian Forsling could help you, then he would be in there.
Yeah, like Sebastian Forsling would have struggled in the Colorado State game. That wouldn't have been the thing. Because
of pace?
Oh, Patrick Courtier was beating him inside and out.
Yeah, it was Courtier. Yeah.
And so last night, if you're like, oh, you want to bang on Caleb Boone for 5 minutes, okay. Yeah. But you're also looking at Nelly Jr. Joseph, and you're saying you are here to be that defensive guy, and you're trying to give him those opportunities to show the player he was at Iona.
All right. Let me walk you around the league last night because there was some startling stuff. One startling thing and almost 2. And I don't know if this is even startling. It's startling if you just look at the numbers, but Colorado State's 1-2. Colorado State is just like the Lobos, 13-3 and 1-2, but they beat New Mexico. They got beat in Boise, 65-58. The Broncos beat Colorado State last night. Omar Stanley led the way with 17 points for the Broncos, who outscored. There was a big first half for Boise State, and they played in the second half. They controlled Cartier, who had only 8 points, and Isaiah Stevens only 15 points. So the Broncos especially up there, are going to be really good. The other one that really got your attention last night, San Diego State had to work. They beat San Jose State last night on the road, 81-78. Jaden Ledee had 31 for the Aztecs. You're going to see Jaden Ledee in the pit on Saturday. JJ, I've watched a few Aztec games. I watched Jaden Ledee in person last year at the Final Four. He's Player of the Year candidate in this league, is he not?
Yes, he is.
He's been terrific for San Diego State. They escaped 81-78. Utah State stays perfect in league play. They beat Wyoming, handled their business at home, 83-59, and Nevada handled their business at home. They are 2-0 in league. Keenan Blackshear at 22. They beat Air Force 67-54. So we're really interesting. Nevada on Friday in this league, and then the Aztecs are here. Utah State goes on the road where the Lobos were last night, and they will play at the Thomas and Mack Center. Meanwhile, look around the world, man. It ain't just here. Number one team in the country last night, Purdue, went on the road. It's tough to go on the road and play in league. They went to Nebraska. They got beat 88-72. Oh, look, the number 2 team in the country went on the road. And it's cold where they're going. Iowa State, Nebraska. Iowa State beat Houston. Houston's first loss of the season, 57-53. JJ, I'm not going to lose my mind over one road loss for the Lobos.
2.
But it is now 2.
The way they lost that game.
And I think that's more so right, the way they lost.
Didn't have a chance in either.
Not ready to lose my mind yet, but I mean, I'm absolutely concerned.
I just, it's just so frustrating watching this team because it's not, if you lose at Colorado State, all right, disappointed, down by 17, got it. You look, UNLV looked like the team we thought New Mexico was going to be last night.
With an 18-year-old kid who should be in high school.
And then you're going to look at this team and go, all right, now you have to bounce back against San Diego State. Jaden Ledee could score 40 on him.
Look, if I'm San Diego State and Brian Dutcher's got tape and they know what they're getting into, I mean, don't you feel if you shut down those guards, what are you worried about right now? I'm worried about Toppin a little. All right, they got plenty of bodies that they're going to throw at Toppin. But how are you going to stop them? How are you going to stop what they do offensively? You better go out and, worry about Ledee, but, Saunders only had 2 points last night. Micah Parrish is there for them. Lamont Butler hits big shots. Waters has been really good at times. They're Powell. The dude, Jay Powell, has been really, really good for them.
It was a game-winning block last night.
What he did.
San Jose State had the ball at the rim to tie the game.
What he did, 6'9" transfer, and what he did to just, literally, San Jose State ran a beautiful play at the rim, and Powell comes out of nowhere and wins the game for him. Yeah, you got a challenge. What do you think the spread's going to be? We won't know it till Saturday. If you put a spread on, would you put San Diego State 4.5 right now?
Yeah.
Is that about close, or are the Lobos going to be underdogs at home in the pit?
Against the Aztecs, yes. I think they will be.
All right. You can get in on Lobos. We'll talk more about it. We'll hear more from Richard Pitino coming up, 505-246-0610. I know you want to get into it. When we come back, the latest on the coaching carousel in the NFL. You had one more firing yesterday, and how does one coach cuss out his, former boss over what's going on? Maybe that's why he's his former boss. I guess you can cuss out your former boss, right? Or you can cuss out your boss once. You can do anything once. That, the latest what's going on in the National Football League, we'll do that when we come back. Hey, the number's growing. International Protective Service has hundreds of homeowners who trust them to install alarms and cameras to keep their eyes on those homes and businesses and to respond quickly. If an alarm goes off, they respond with armed officers. The reality is police aren't coming for hours if they come at all. And in most cases, IPS is there within 7 minutes or less. This time of year, you may be traveling. You may be going out. You may be doing a whole lot more. There's almost nothing worse than coming home to find out that you've been the victim of a break-in. You notice IPS at retail outlets. You go to a store, Target, Walmart, Nordstrom, wherever. IPS is making a major difference for them. They can help you too. They made a major difference for me. I see Officer Crespin come by every single day by my house. They've watched my home for years. My neighbors now utilize IPS as well. IPS has a team watching video cameras, monitoring alarms around the clock to secure your home and business. Cameras are known to discourage criminal activity. Your home's supposed to be a place of security. If someone breaks in, it's devastating for that sense of security. Homes that are protected are far less likely to be homes that are targeted by the bad guys. Call IPS, see what they can do for you. I think you're going to like it. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. Online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque a better and a safer place to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried
610, the
My favorite round song. Rod's birthday. Is it really? 79. I think it's 77. There was a place on El Cajon Boulevard we used to stumble to. A little dive bar called The Huddle. 2 pool tables, probably $1.25 beers back in the day. Stumbling distance from one of the places that I lived, and would go and shoot pool and to The Huddle. And that song was always on. Oh yeah, that was always. We would always put that. That's. I think that's my favorite. I never have it. I hear it. I miss it. So I did some and I think he had just recently purchased a soccer team. So he comes out. He's kicking soccer balls into the crowd, and it's not just 1 or 2. Yep. How long goes? Goodness, this would have been probably 2010 or 11 here, a little bit. He's still a great. He has the most epic quote. I've got 5 acres underneath at the time. Instead of finding someone to marry, I'm like, nope, give him a house. No, he is. Happy birthday, Rod. All right, Coach Carousel continue to roll. Right when we get off here yesterday, pretty much. I'm not going to tell you that. Well, that just. I didn't expect. The owner, Amy Adams, drunk because she thought about trading Vrabel. Her quote was yesterday when consideration of that. There's a bit of misconception about coach's contract with the player. The coach's contract, you can't trade them unless they're a willing partner. Yes, we thought about it, but at the end of the day, with league rules the way they are, it would have maybe put back to the honestly, the right head coach was not willing to go back to climb. I think he chance to miss basically, he couldn't have traded him to Atlanta if he wouldn't have had it. Right? Where players like, I guess they played it now.
It was. Mike Vrabel felt like a coach, looking at guys that could be on the hot seat eventually after 2 down seasons, but you thought, do they have something with Levis? Let's find out. 2 years removed from being a playoff team that knocked off Baltimore in the postseason, at least in the talking head circles, Mike Vrabel had a lottery.
It seems like he still does. He's going to get, I think,
he'll get another opportunity even after 2 down years. He feels like a quick bounce back hire.
Well, he seems like the easy answer in New England, right? I mean, everything's going that way. But if you're going to tell me he's the guy that or in Washington or Carolina or with the Chargers, all of it makes sense. I saw a report yesterday, Kellen Moore is the leading candidate for Las Vegas. Surprised you? Because the Antonio Pierce thing really feels like it fits. And if I'm going to go with a first-year coach again, an offensive coordinator again, I don't know, man. And I don't know that Kellen Moore, and I'm a big Kellen Moore guy, man. This is a Kellen Moore house right here. I've known Kellen since he was 5 years old. But I don't know that I can sit here and tell you I think his stock rose this year with the Chargers. And if I'm the Raiders, what makes me think that's the answer as opposed to what I got sitting there? I love me some Kellen Moore now. But that just doesn't feel like the right spot for him.
What does?
It does?
I said, what does?
Well, okay. What does? The Chargers might. Maybe maybe it's not his time. What does? Of the jobs open, I don't like him in Carolina. And I don't even know what feels like. I wouldn't hate him with the Cowboys, by the way. But Dan Quinn would be the next. Well, Dan Quinn would be the next. Belichick would be the next pick there. What does?
Atlanta would be.
Atlanta
really
interests me too. Yeah, but he doesn't have a quarterback, right?
Which team are you going to that has a quarterback that fired a coach?
Chargers.
Other than the Chargers. You could say Bryce Young. I want to go work with Bryce Young. Second year, try to develop him.
See, to me, that's a tough job. To me, that's a really,
You got an owner that
really
will
tough.
fire you after 8 weeks.
In Vegas, you have no idea who your quarterback is. None, right? I mean, is it Aiden O'Connell? So what am I looking at? I'm looking at Tennessee. Tennessee would be interesting to watch him work with Will Levis. Now, I don't know what's coming back there. They may be a complete reboot. But Tennessee might. All right, then there's this. Wink Martindale is still the defensive coordinator for the Giants, but evidently he cursed out Brian Dable, his head coach, which you get to do usually once, man. The New York Post is reporting that Martindale, quote, said his piece, got up, slammed the door, and walked out of the building, end quote. This is after the Giants fired his guys. His outside linebackers coach, Drew Wilkins, his defensive assistant, Kevin Wilkins. They'd both come with him from Baltimore. Drew Wilkins was his right-hand man. And there's obviously a rocky relationship between the head coach and the defensive coordinator. And everybody's saying that it's going to be a split. In November, the Post said that they were in a bad place. Wink Martindale's pretty respected dude, too, now. He's got 1 year left on his $3 million a year contract. That's what defensive coordinators make in the league. 60 years old. There's some juice left from that dude, too. I think plenty of people would want him as a defensive coordinator, too. That's got to split, right?
Yeah.
Now, the Giants could prevent him from joining another team if he resigns. Then it could get really ugly. Then he could slam two doors, curse out the coach again. It can get really, really fun. All right, 505-246-0610. I got a bunch of emails and texts from you. Lobos get beat last night in Vegas, 83-73. When we come back, a little bit more from Richard Pitino. We'll do the Red Zone at 9 o'clock this morning, get into the NFL, and what you think about the Lobos and where they're going and what it means, man, and what it means moving forward, because you got two tough ones at home that you kind of got to win. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Media station.
Even if they're not that proud of us.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Now, you guys are all over the place today after the Lobos lose last night at the Thomas and Mack Center. 83-73 was the count. UNM got outscored in the second half, 43-35. Another rough second half. We'll hear from Richard Pitino on to that. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. For you, the number to get in today is 505-246-0610. Put that in your phone if you don't want to use it. 505-246-0610 is also the Sports Animal text line. A big problem last night containing Caleb Boone, the transfer from Oklahoma State. Went for 29 points last night, kind of did what he wanted down the stretch, and it got away. A lot of calls, a lot of emails this morning. We had a couple callers saying they've got to bring Mashburn off the bench and play Forslund. And I'm not sure I agree with either of those, but I mean, your point is you got to do something, right? Gopher said Bash to the bench. Jeff, I disagree with Marty number one. Bash, I said Bash to make money. Shouldn't be benched. That honor should go to Whoa Nelly. Well, okay, but who you playing is a big if you aren't playing Nelly Jr. Joseph?
Mustafa Amstil.
Okay.
He's your backup 5 right now. And
he's super undersized.
Yeah. I was liking the minutes the last few games we're seeing from him.
Okay. All right. Dan says, Lobo basketball equal the dividers, Jeffrey, Juan Jose, and Dwayne Cook. You know the standing OD joke every season is how soccer is going to have to win their final game to make the state tournament as the lowest seed. Is Lobo basketball going to come down to their final contest to determine 3 or 4 days in Vegas? It might. It might. Lobo Hobo's in, says Lobo basketball hot take, Jeff. Maybe Lobo basketball just isn't that good. Where do you stand on that? I mean, that's as simple as it said. Are they maybe not that good? We thought they're pretty good. We think they're pretty good.
Hard to push back on that after the performances at Colorado State.
After what you saw last night. All right, let's go to you. 505-246-0610. Tony, you're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Tony.
Good morning, gentlemen. Real quick here. Best job, it's got to be San Diego, but has the coach been fired?
Has what coach been fired?
I'm from the Chargers. I'm sorry, the Los Angeles Chargers.
They fired him like weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, that's the best job out there. That job. If they can re-sign Austin Eckler and not let him walk, that's the best opening, I think so. And then, hey, JJ, this was for you. Have you heard anything on Denver wanting to replace Vance Joseph as DC?
No, I have not heard any coaching moves with the Broncos.
Okay, and last but not least, Jeff, you know I love you, man, but please don't ever do that Belichick impression again. Please, man. Please. I love you to death, man, but that was horrible. That was just horrible.
I'm on to the next call.
Guys, have a great day, okay?
Thanks, Tony. We're just on to the next call. I'm on to the next call.
Hey, sorry, I got a call. Jeff, let me call you right back.
Chad, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Chad.
Hey, guys, good morning. Just some takes on the Lobos.
I think we have a lot of tools in the kitchen this year. You got a lot of different tools that we didn't have last year, more depth. But there's one glaring area that still needs development, and that's the big man getting some points in the post, down low. Like we had Mo last year. He slowly developed last year and really turned into a formidable presence down there. And it really balanced out the offense, so you weren't depending so much on the jump shot. It was just they were complementary to each other. And I hope Nelly they continue to develop him down low, because it's going to bring it's going to help that out. Toppin's doing what he can. I think he's 6'9", but definitely need that part of the game going. The defense, I think they're playing well overall. I didn't see the game last night, but I've seen a lot of them this year. They're playing well. I think that he's still trying to figure out that they're still new playing together. They haven't fully gelled because of all the injuries. Yeah. So I hope they start to emerge here as they get a little more time with each other, especially the starting lineup that he wants in there. So. And it's you see guys like True Washington, his length, his frame. Why wouldn't you want him on the court more too? He's got a nice he's 6'4".
Yep.
And he just looks like a bigger guy out there. So he's got a lot of different tools in the shed this year that I think he's trying to figure it out still too as a coach.
I think that's right. No, Chad, good stuff. Thank you. I love True Washington. I love his not only his length defensively. It's a dude who wants to play defense. You know what I mean? It's his motor, it's his basketball acumen that he's a difference maker, especially defensively. And then last night he shot 3 of 6 in 23 minutes. He had 5 steals. Yeah, he turned the ball over 3 times. Then he had 9 points, and I think he's a difference maker. And look, you can hate House, love House, whatever. But House makes a difference on defense too. And there's no way you're going to sit here and tell me that they were better without Jalen House last night. They needed him in the game.
House was the only player that was not a minus on the floor. He was even for the game.
It's a big deal. That's a big deal. All right, here's a big deal. Second half. Richard Pitino, you heard him earlier say that this is the 3rd game in a row where they've come out, whatever the word you use, sluggish in the second half. It hurt them in Fort Collins. They lost the game. You saw a double-digit lead at home against Wyoming shrink down to single digits. Called timeout. They righted the ship. Last night, they got outscored 43-35 in the second half. And JJ, what they closed an 11-4 run, or what was it? They closed the lead. They were down by 21. They lost.
Yeah, there was a 14-4 run in there late for the Lobos.
All right, late. What's going on with the second half?
They did, yep. And we certainly got to do a better job on a kid who scores 29 points, right? That's obvious. We're giving up 58% from the field in the second half. It's going to be hard to beat anybody. So we'll watch the film and we'll make some adjustments and continue to work.
I don't know what else you can do, right? Here's the other key. And there were a lot of keys last night. There were a lot of keys. 3-point shooting was bad yesterday. And JJ, they were 2 of 11. And just for a little bit of perspective, UNLV was 10 of 22. Do they need to shoot more threes? Is this, if I ask you, who's their best shooter? Who's their sniper? Who's the guy that you need taking a 3? Who is it? Is it Baker? I know Amzil likes to shoot him.
Amzil likes to shoot him. Is not anywhere close to the shooter he was last year at Dayton. It would be Baker in house.
Okay.
In the backcourt, but if you look at Baker played 12 minutes, took 2 shots, just 1 3-point shot.
All right. 2 of 11. Coach Pitino says we got to get better shooting the 3.
5 for 11. We're not getting enough of them. You know what I mean? We've got guys who've got to shoot them, knock them down. It's going to be hard to win. Now, we got to the free throw line, which is good. We haven't been doing that in conference.
And made them.
Which was good. Had the right guys there for sure. But we got to be able to knock down some more shots than that. We're a better shooting team than that. So like I said, I thought our defense certainly let us down in the second half. We did some good things. We turned them over at times. We were able to out-rebound them, but still, again, not playing a complete game on the road.
All right, that's courtesy of the UNM Sports Radio Network with Robert Portnoy and Hunter Green. Richard Pitino last night. They do need to shoot threes better. And this is one of those things where I think in the offseason you said, all right, where do they got to get better, JJ? They got to get better defensively, and who's their shooter? Do find a shooter, right? And I think you thought it was Mash. And look, I'm not as concerned as everybody else is about Mashburn. He was 4 of 9 last night. I think teams are trying to take him away. I think, is he frustrated? Probably. I think I've seen enough of him over 2+ years now where I think he's going to find his groove. Like, I think he's terrific. To me, he's not the issue. Now, is this 3-guard rotation working? Or it's not even a rotation. And you made a point the other day from the Colorado State game that their best lineup when they were plus 12 or whatever was with Dent, Mashburn, and House on the floor.
Yes. There was a stretch. The foul trouble kept House off the floor at Colorado State, but they played about 12 and a half minutes together against the Rams. And those 3 guards while they were in the lineup were plus 13. So it can work together. This one is, last night wasn't totally about the guards can't play together. You have 81 points.
83. Yeah.
Or 83 points, excuse me. Because I'm looking, if you look at Jamal Mashburn Jr., if you go to the second half of Colorado State where he started to get some confidence, he was 4 of 7. He's 4 of 9 last night. 8 for 17, so much 50% from the field.
Dude, all I know is I think that guy can ball. Benching him to me is not the answer. And you're like, well, you can't take Dent off the floor. You're probably right. Well, and you can't take House off. Well, you're probably
And then
right.
you're going to have those games, too, where we're hyper-focused on Jamal Mashburn Jr. and Jalen House. Donovan was 1 for 6.
Yeah, well, okay, you're right. Last night, Dent wasn't great, but I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to take the sample size of the whole season as opposed to last night.
Yeah, so but everyone's saying you need to bench Mash, you Jalen House. Like, your starting point guard who we have said has been the best player.
Yes. He was 1 for 6 last night. Yeah, he wasn't
scored
great
3 points.
Yeah. You need more from him. That's right. Dan, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Dan.
Good morning, everyone. I was taught many years ago as a young child, the main thing is not to panic. Just take a deep breath, take a step back. Everything's okay. I don't, we don't, well, might not be okay, but we'll move forward. I don't think the team, I always say the team does not, from what I can see, have a pure shooter that we can recognize yet. But as far as benching this person and this, I'll leave all that to Coach Pitino. To me, he's an absolute pro. I think he's doing a great job. Let him do his business. I'm going to do my responsibility as a fan by just keep going and buying tickets and yelling and screaming and supporting. And I think they're a great group. Last night might not have shown it, but man, UNLV came on like a powerhouse last night. It was just. It was a little depressing, but I watched the entire game. And, Jeff, I like the Belichick voice. So, yeah, man, let's move on to the next 40.
Yeah, we're on to the next call.
Later.
All right, 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. 505-246-0610, and you can get in. I got more correspondence from you, what it means moving forward. When we come back, do you have this? We're going to play a game. How much will the fine be? Oh, did one NBA coach completely, unabashedly blow up the referee? You need to hear the sound and then predict the fine, because this doesn't happen very often. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnclo.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Murcia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Darko Rajakovic, the Raptors coach. I mean, he blew up the officials yesterday. Like blew up. So stand by, because he just blew up the officials in the NBA. Like in a way where this is basically saying, "Find me. I don't even care. Find me. Here's my checkbook. Take whatever you want." I will get there in a minute. 505-246-0610. Travis wants to talk about the Lobo loss last night, 83-73 in Vegas to the Rebels. Travis, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Travis.
Good morning, fellas.
What's good?
Listen, well, first off, that soundbite from Raptors coach last night was hilarious.
Yeah.
Look, it is about time that professional coaches at all levels, whether it's in the NBA and the NFL, start calling out these coaches for blowing these calls. We saw a blown call last night along the baseline
that the refs blew, and you saw immediately how those blown calls changed the game. The momentum was with the Lobos. This was in the first half.
And dude was out of position to make that call. He was way behind that play. I know exactly the call you're talking about, the play on the baseline where he made the save, and it was late, and the guy trailing the play said he was out of bounds, and he was not.
That's exactly right. And then what immediately happened after that?
They went on a run.
UNLV scores a bucket, House gets a foul. So it's in that one blown call results in a UNLV bucket on the very next possession, and then House picks up his second foul. That's how quickly these games can change with these blown calls. They're small calls in the moment, but they do have ripple effects. And so, look, good on the Raptors coach. I don't know, maybe we can start a GoFundMe fund or something to help that dude out. But it's honestly about time. And we've talked about the NFL blown calls throughout the season. But, look, what I'll just say is I'm not alone in saying that it's a disappointing start to conference play. Non-conference was definitely, I think, a bit of fool's gold for all of us. But, let's not start jumping out of the windows, Lobo fans. And I will say I've seen this a lot, and I heard this earlier this morning, but Lobo fans need to stop saying that they're seeing the same thing here with Pitino and this Lobo team that they saw with Pitino when he was at Minnesota. You know damn well you weren't watching Minnesota basketball all those years that that Pitino was coaching there. This is the fishbowl for Lobo fans. The most important thing happening in New Mexico is Lobo basketball. You're telling me Lobo fans are going to be following some middle-of-the-pack team in the Big 12 or Big 10 for 6 or 7 or 8 years at a time, just hoping maybe Pitino's going to become free and they can get him as a coach? No way. Stop it. It's crap. We just need to stop doing that. And I will just say, look, I think House really looks like he's pressing right now. I think this team really needs his energy on both sides. But I think the analogy is it's like having a campfire, right? Like a great campfire can keep you warm and toast your s'mores, but an out-of-control campfire burns the whole forest down. And when he plays right up to that line, it's great. I mean, he's making steals, he's bothering guards, he's being a pest, he's dishing the ball. But lately he's playing consistently over the line. Like, to be down 8 in the second half and then to go push an opposing player right in front of the refs, it's just
that was a problem.
It's not a smart basketball. And I think, look, he obviously has professional aspirations. He probably has the talent, but those sort of mental lapses that he continues to make have really overshadowed the talent. And I think the final point for me is Lobos really need to figure out how to get easy buckets to stop runs. I think Nelly is good in the pick and roll, but really struggles with his back to the basket. And I think at this point, we are really noticing the hole that is left with losing Mo to eligibility. I mean, no more Mo, no Mo easy baskets.
Thanks, Travis.
Have a good day, guys.
That was good. So House is a campfire. How about that? I mean, when it's good, it's under control. It keeps you warm. It toasts your s'mores. But when it gets out of control, it burns down your house. I mean,
that was a great call. That was a fantastic call because he was right on.
Yeah. And who didn't watch Minnesota beat Maryland on Sunday, 65-62? Didn't you all watch that? Cam Christie scored 12 points in that game, and it was a great call. It was actually, that was really good. Keep them coming at 505-246-0610. All right. This is, you need to hear this. I don't even know if you know who, if I'd have said Darko Rajakovic to you yesterday, and I said,
who is he?
If I said to you, he's the goalie for the Calgary Flames. He's the number 3 seed on the men's side at the Australian Open. He is the head coach of the Toronto Raptors, or he is the number 2 ranked men's slalom skier in the world. It would have been a tough. I used to play.
I'm going tennis.
I used to play this game all the time.
Tennis for sure.
Fun game. Yeah. And you wouldn't have known, right? You'd gone tennis.
Tennis for sure.
Darko Rajakovic.
Tennis. Yeah, that sounds like a tennis.
All right. Number 3 ranked men's player at the Australian Open. He's the head coach of the Toronto Raptors. Raptors lost to the Lakers last night, 132-131. In the fourth quarter, the Lakers shot 23 free throws. I believe the Raptors shot 2. Now, there was a time at the end of the game where the Raptors were in foul mode, correct? And they were trying to extend the game. He's a first-year coach. I don't know what he's getting paid. I don't know how the Canadian currency flips over to American currency when he gets fined, whatever. But if he's not yet, he will hear from the league within the hour. Let's play Name That Fine. This is Darko Rajakovic last night after the loss to the Lakers, and he doesn't care what you think. So good.
Was that the head coach or the post-game calling show?
No doubt. Darko from Toronto, you're on the Sports Animal. Go. All right. Everything except for Scotty Barnes is going to be the face of the league. I'm down. And he is an all-star player. Scotty Barnes is really good.
He couldn't remember his last name, though. He had to look down at the sheet.
That's fine. That's fine.
He's in the moment.
He was raging.
Raging. Just seeing his face on a still right here.
Right.
Raging.
And there's part of me that's like, good for you, dude. And this is the team that, by the way, right, this is who the Pistons beat to snap their losing streak. Mm-hmm. Is that not right? They're 28. I mean, they're not that good. In fact, they're not good. And he will get fined. And he basically, so he calls everything. He calls out LeBron and AD for flopping. He calls out the league for, I mean, and this is where it's going to get really touchy because of the betting thing. And is there an insinuation that they've got this thing figured out? Just tell us and we won't show up. Right? He's got all that stuff. Dude lost his bananas last night. And I don't know, on the surface, 23-2 in free throws is, I mean, how does that even happen? I had to shoot 23 free throws in a quarter anyway. But you got to look at it in the context. Does he have a point? I didn't watch the game last night. I actually watched high school basketball. I was at Academy Pius last night. And then I watched the Lobos.
I understand when it's 23-2 in what ends up being a 1-point game. I understand a coach losing his mind, especially when you have your ball dominant player, Scotty Barnes, who is the lead guard. You know, Scotty Barnes is a fantastic player. He's 22 years old. You see him. He's big. I think he's like 6'8". He can play point guard, play all over the floor. And if he's attacking the rim, initiating your offense, and he's not getting to the foul line, you're going to be frustrated. And LeBron James after the game was like, I just felt like they were fouling and we weren't.
They had to win tonight? ?
Yeah, that's what's going to get him.
Yeah,
hit big from the NBA.
Yeah, no, this is the one. They had to win tonight? ? If that's the case, just let us know so we don't show up for the game. Just give them a win. But that was not fair tonight, and this is not happening first time for us. Darko Rajakovic. Well, you know who he is now, dude. He's your new favorite coach, isn't he? I mean, he's your new favorite dude in the NBA.
You know, there's a theme, though, because we were having this conversation a week ago about Joker not getting calls.
Yeah.
I mean, there is something to this. And Travis was right. It's good that someone's calling it out.
Look, superstars have always gotten the benefit of the call. They always have. And Toronto's not filled with superstars, but Scotty Barnes is going to be the face of the league. That might be my favorite part of the whole thing, by the way. Other than this is crap. All right, if you're there, stay there. We got to take this break. We're late for it. 505-246-0610. Going to go into the NFL Red Zone at 9 o'clock. I got a bunch from you. You're on the lines wanting to talk about Louisville basketball last night. Devastating blow is what this one says, and replying to this. And I mean, it's everywhere. It's the opening drive from 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Your home for Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night football, and the Super Bowl.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver.
This is crap. All right, so Matt Eberflus back with the Bears.
Back with the Bears.
And I think that's what we expected. All right, 505-246-0610, opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck in D.C. Manny, thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Manny.
Good morning. It is just totally different. We got San Diego State coming into town, and they're bigger, faster, and stronger than UNLV. So, but we're at home. I think we can get this one. We've got to win the games at home, and we've got to start taking care of business on the road, man. That's just it's a rough month in January for the Lobos, but I think if we a little bit, and it goes for all teams. It goes for all teams, but you know, I think House just needs to reel it in a little. I love his tenacity. I mean, he's a fireball, man. I mean, he's our best player. When he's off the court, you can see the difference.
Right on. I mean, now it's inarguable that he affects you. He was your leading scorer last night with 16 points in 27 minutes. He had 6 assists. Turned the ball over 3 times, but he plays with a ferocious way, whatever I'm trying to say. He's dynamic. He makes things happen. He's fast. He plays defense. I don't know how at this point in your career you reel it in a little bit.
Yeah, last night the only problem was that technical foul. And it's just one of those moments where you're just not thinking. To run over there, you want to hustle over to your teammate.
Yeah.
Because Rodriguez was, and Ellie Junior Joseph, they're doing the classic thing. I'm not giving up the ball even after the whistle. Right. Tugging on it a little bit, and Junior Joseph was in a tough position because he was laying on the floor with the dude standing over him. So you want to get over there, but once you get over there, he tried to act like he didn't push the dude, and you just blatantly pushed him right in front of the referee.
It's a problem.
Can't do that.
You just can't do it. And then he sat him for about 4 or 5 minutes right after.
And that ended up being a 4-point swing.
And 100%.
Free throws and then another basket from UNLV.
Yeah, 100%. All right, text line's 505-246-0610. This one's about Sebastian Forsling. Some of you have been calling for him to play. It says, regarding teams like UNLV and SFSU, is that Fresno State? I'm going to guess. Forsling might give you some minutes and give some fouls, but he's given up points to do it. He's a defensive liability. I see him in the transfer portal next season. Okay. Text line. Mud asks, what happened with Quentin Webb? Is he a strong presence? He's getting no minutes. Nobody's even asking for him. What happened to Quentin Webb?
Sitting on the bench.
Okay. Could he help you defensively? And again, we knew this was coming with the backcourt, the roster filled with backcourt. I mean, Jamal Baker's having a problem getting on the floor. Isaac Mushila had 4 minutes last night. Right? I mean, we knew minutes, and you've got 2 veterans who are going to demand minutes, and Donovan Dent, who has turned himself into a veteran who demands minutes, right?
Yes.
So where's it coming from? And that's fair. Rod was replying to Manny. That was the last caller. Jefferson, if Forsling's that incapable, then why is he still on scholarship? I mean, you guys are everywhere from Forsling's the answer to Forsling should be off scholarship today. And I've never had this much conversation about a dude who played 0 minutes in the last 3 games. No, honestly. I mean, it's a guy.
It's no different than a guy on the end of an NBA bench. Like, you're not going to have 12, 13 scholarship players that can go out and play 15 minutes for you. But does he bring something to the team? He does. Does he bring something in for the fans' eyes? No, because what he does, you don't see. He's being a good teammate. It's working hard in practice. It's being a 7-footer that does his job, what he's asked to do.
And probably not complaining about his lack of minutes.
Exactly.
Probably not. Email jeff@sportsanimalaBQ.com. This is from Dean. Dean says, on the Lobos, everything is still okay. Road wins in conference are hard to come by. I think 12-6 wins the league. Next 2 games are huge, and possibly winning next 6 would be huge. Forsling and Webb, I think, need some time. 12-6, I don't think wins this league. How many losses will the champion have? If I said 3.5 over/under losses.
Over.
4.5. So you're right at 4 and 5. 4 or 5 losses. 6 is too many, right? To win the league. Okay. And that'll be interesting to see what it does as far as knocking teams in and out. This one says Mike Tomlin equals Dave Bliss, ? Jeff, yesterday you said all the Steelers do is win, but their coach gets no love. What I said yesterday is their coach has never had a losing season. And a lot of Steeler fans are done with it. So I guess you could translate it to that. Bill continues, well, after a game like last night, back in the day, all we would have heard from some Lobo fans is chance of mediocrity. Lobo basketball needs a road coach. Kenny Thomas is not developing. Why is Daniel Santiago not playing, etc.? That's probably right. It's the same song, different verse. That's probably right. Been doing this long enough, man. I know what it feels like on a Wednesday after a Tuesday night loss on the road. I know. Ron says Lobo basketball hot take, JJ. Maybe they didn't play the non-conference schedule to prepare them for games like this, and quite frankly, UNLV isn't that great. So, who'd they lose to last night? An 8-6 team in UNLV. Okay, UNLV. So 8-6. Jeff, who'd they beat? Well, they beat Creighton, right? It's a pretty good win. Other than that, they beat Stetson and Pepperdine and Akron and Hofstra and Carroll College and Bethesda in New Mexico. They lost to Southern. They lost to Florida State and Richmond and LMU, Loyola Marymount, and St. Mary's and San Diego State. I got a bunch more for you. 505-246-0610. Bunch more on Lobo basketball. Boy, you guys are fired up on the Lobos today. We'll take your calls as the phones continue to ring at 505-246-0610. And more of what you have to say. Play this guy. Don't play that guy. Bench him. He should be sitting. Coaches this. Why don't we play? I got it. I'm here for you. It's next. It continues. It's the opening drive. I'm 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. You're home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football, and the Super Bowl.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Boot Camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the Frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety.
Indy Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta.
Yesterday, that shouldn't have lost. We shouldn't have lost that game, but we did. Lobos will be just fine. Coach knows what he's doing. It's why he coaches and we watch. So, hey, Lobo fan, hang in there. Everything's going to be fine. You guys have a great day, and go Lobos.
Thanks, Charlie. Appreciate you. All right. So, I mean, to his point, Purdue lost. Number 1 team in the country lost on the road at Nebraska yesterday. Number 2 team in the country, Houston, lost on the road yesterday at Iowa State. Top team, or what you thought was the top team in this league, Colorado State, lost on the road last night at Boise State. It's hard to win on the road, but I know you want them to look better than they looked. Josue, good morning, Hoser. How you living?
I'm living good, man. Living a little cold. It's a good thing I've got my New Mexico bow little quarter zip that you gave me a few years back.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Helping me, layering up. So thank you again.
Yeah.
Trying to stay warm here. I don't have anything new on the Lobos. I just want to JJ's point, it's just disappointing, especially with Joseph. I mean, he was just getting beat up last night. My goodness, I was like, man, use that body. I mean, these guys were just having their way. The Boone brothers were just having their way with him, down low, especially Caleb. And I was just like, oh, my goodness. And that's what going back to that first game of the year when we saw the aggressiveness that House really brings to them, especially on defense, and everybody just seemed to kind of try to match him defensively. We really didn't see that a whole lot last night, and so for me that was just disappointing. And I'm hoping things turn around. But yeah, that was hard to watch last night, and just it really kind of felt deflated. And then you're going into this week with this big game Saturday on CBS, and it's like it just takes a little bit of that edge. I mean, I'm not saying that that things are still going to be hyped and ready to go by the time we get to Saturday morning, but
they will.
But man, it was just tough to watch, disappointing. Hopefully they make a turnaround.
Appreciate you, man. All right.
Yep.
Saturday noon, CBS, Big Boy CBS. Aztecs are in town. Noon start. Stripe out. They're asking you to check your section. See what color to wear, cherry or white. All right, we're going to sidestep Lobos for a little bit when we get back. NFL, lots of stuff going on the coaching carousel, and the playoffs are getting ready to start on Saturday. We will go into the NFL Red Zone. That is next. Stuff like, which of these 5% chance teams do you think can get to the Super Bowl? And how surprising was this? And can that guy really get fired? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burtia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay. Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico.
I got so much more that I haven't read to you yet from the text line and from the emails at 505-246-0610. That's the Sports Animal text line and the phone line. And you send emails, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com or Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. So we'll get back to your thoughts on that. But a couple of things in the NFL this morning. The Bears this morning came out and made a decision on their head coach. They will keep Matt Eberflus, but they fired their offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy. So Matt Eberflus stays as the Bears head coach. Now what are they going to do with their quarterback is really the biggest question in that franchise. What are they going to do with the number one pick and with Justin Fields? And the Giants defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale, cursed out his head coach after his two main guys on defense were fired. One other big thing in college football, and then we'll get into the NFL red zone. Jaden Maiava. And you're like, I know Jaden Maiava. The UNLV quarterback that came in here and just lit the Lobos up. The freshman quarterback who was the Mountain West Conference freshman of the year. JJ, yesterday, he announced that he was going to Georgia. Like, okay, he really was that good then, right? He really was.
Pretty good.
He flipped, and now he's not going to Georgia. He is, in fact, going to USC. Lincoln Riley came in, final pitch, and he is going to the University of Southern California. I don't know what they did. Maybe they upped their
The
NIL
final
deal.
pitch was, here's your NIL deal.
Yeah, I think that might be right.
Outrageous.
So SC is playing musical quarterbacks. They had a 5-star quarterback, Malachi Nelson, who transferred into the Mountain West. He'll be at Boise State next year. And they've got Miller Moss, who was the star of the Holiday Bowl, threw 6 touchdowns. So they got quarterbacks, Miller Moss and Jaden Maiava. So, all right, that's the news this morning. Let's hit the NFL red zone.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Tom Brady this game.
You're in the red zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Let's go, baby!
It's first and goal.
It's a complete crap.
As of right now, NFL.com has 8 of the playoff teams with less than 5% chance of winning the Super Bowl. Of these 8 teams, which one do you think is most likely to make a run and why? I'll give you the order from best to worst odds. We have the Bucks, Browns, Dolphins, Eagles, which is just over 2%, Rams, Texans, Packers, and Steelers.
So the easy answer, and the one I think you would gravitate to, is the Eagles, or maybe even you would go to the Dolphins, but the answer is the Browns. The answer is Cleveland. Why? Well, okay, they've got a Super Bowl caliber defense. They've got a quarterback who has won a Super Bowl and been MVP and is playing at a high level, and they have beaten the number 1 seed twice this year. So they know they can do. Now, can you beat a team? Oh, it's so hard to beat a team 3 times. Whatever. The answer, now, I wouldn't pick any of those teams to go to the Super Bowl, but if you're going to say who's the pick out of those, the answer is the Browns.
It is the Cleveland Browns. Based on everything that you just laid out, I would have it Browns, Rams, Eagle as the teams I would look to, and I'm just barely hanging on with the Eagles, but I think they're too hurt, and Devontae Smith did not play last week. A.J. Brown his knee looked at. Quarterback's finger doesn't look like a finger should on his throwing hand. So I might even look at I think the Texans and Packers, I like the pieces that they have. I don't think they have an overall team. It is the Cleveland Browns for sure. And the Miami Dolphins is what a wild roller coaster ride they went on from being a team. We're talking about Tua, MVP conversation, looking good, to not being able to beat the Bills. And then now, after all this, you go on the road to a game in Kansas City, which could be one of the coldest football games we've ever seen played.
Does it surprise you at all that the Eagles started out 10-1 and now have a 2% chance to win the Super Bowl?
I mean, it surprised me that they've fallen off so dramatically. Yeah.
It blows my mind. When I saw that, I was like, I almost thought it was a typo or something.
Well, they were the machine. I mean, there was a real conversation who's going to beat the Eagles, right? I mean, this was a real conversation, and now they've lost 5 out of 6, and they look, I mean, at best, mortal.
2nd and goal.
Well, yesterday, Jerry Jones was at it again. He had some interesting comments on his radio show about Mike McCarthy's standing with the team, much like Bill Belichick did the other day, saying that he's under contract. Jerry pointed out that McCarthy is under contract as well and doesn't understand why people are questioning it. So how hot is Mike McCarthy's seat right now? What does he have to do to remain the Cowboys head coach, and what odds do you give him to get fired?
Not lose to the Packers. We lose to the Packers, it changes the entire conversation for everyone. For Jerry Jones, for Cowboy fans who already don't like Mike McCarthy, and if Bill Belichick is floating out there, that could even get you fired, even if you win a playoff game. And get past the Packers. If you lose a tough one somewhere else. But this is a team right now, Dallas, and you look at the Cowboys and go, they need to be in the NFC Championship game.
So I agree with you on don't lose to the Packers. I would take it a step further and say don't lose the next week. Yeah. And if you go up, let's say the Lions beat the Rams. I mean, you talk about revenge game up there, and or down in Dallas. I think it's warm, and I think the reason that there's a little bit more heat to it is because the Belichick piece. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I really think there's if you believe in the scripts and the stories, and if you just follow Jerry Jones,
it is.
But just what's more Jerry Jones than going? I mean, this is Parcells all over again, isn't it? Belichick's available. I'm going to go get Belichick, and if I got to trade a 1st-round pick or whatever I got to trade for him, then I'm going to. I totally. If they lose in the first, or if they don't get to the NFC Championship game, I don't rule out that he'd be gone.
3rd and goal.
Well, many of us were a little surprised when Mike Vrabel was let go shortly after 11 o'clock yesterday. I am right now currently convinced that the job in Washington is the perfect fit for Mike Vrabel moving forward. Am I completely wrong about this? Why or why not? What would the perfect fit be if it's not Washington?
I think Mike Vrabel can work anywhere.
Yeah. Why are you so convinced of that? Why Washington? Why does that make you feel so much better?
I think they want to bring in the Patriot way in a more modern version, and he represents that. I think with what they're doing with their coaching search, they're looking outside the box. They're going to look at a lot of different options. He just seems to fit the model that they're starting to describe.
I don't hate that. I tend to agree with JJ. I think Mike Vrabel might be the best coach on the market right now. I think he fits in LA. I think he fits with the Raiders. I think he fits with the Patriots, and that job's not open. I don't know who wants the Carolina job, because that feels like such a mess with such a bad owner and a bad quarterback situation. So yeah, I'm good with you in Washington, but I think he fits. I think he's going to have his choice.
I think DC did a great job of answering his own question.
Yeah.
Of why he feels Mike Vrabel makes a lot of sense. And with the Commanders' new ownership group, you feel that you have seen an ownership group that is open, that is willing to do new things, that wants to have a new era focus, feels like they're going to invest. The Carolina job scares me so much, just because you have an owner on edge who knows what he's going to do. Bryce Young's, I think you just have to find a way to make him Baker Mayfield now. which would be really good and
At this
get
point.
you in the playoffs. And Vrabel it's interesting because he usually Mike Vrabel. Look at the last 2 years, you'd be like, yeah, of course you'd fire Mike Vrabel. He just won 5 games. He's been under 500 the last 2 years. But sometimes there's these guys that just get the benefit of the doubt for some reason, and Mike Vrabel's one of those guys, which is why he's going to get hired quickly.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
Well, we all know that Bill Belichick's situation in New England is very unique. If Belichick is to move before the divisional round, it will have to be via trade to a team that currently has a head coach on staff. It's kind of a workaround for the Rooney Rule. So which team makes the most sense to trade for Belichick? And I've listed a few: the Bears, Cowboys, Bills, Eagles, or possibly even the Jets. What do you guys think about
Yes. I mean, any of them does. I mean, you can tell me the Chargers do too, right? The Chargers make sense.
Well, but they don't have a coach right now, so they couldn't pull that off.
So tell me how this works again. You have to have a coach to trade for a coach?
Yes. Well, not to trade for a coach, but to replace them without interviewing anyone else.
Well, they're interviewing candidates right now.
Yeah. So wouldn't that fulfill the Rooney Rule? They're interviewing candidates now, and then they go and trade.
If they have a job in the NFL right now, they cannot have a face-to-face interview until after the divisional round. So it's just with the Rooney Rule, the way it works, you have to have either a minority or female candidate, 2 of them interviewed if it happens post regular season.
Okay. Any of them. Cowboys, like I said earlier, the Jets intrigues me, man. What if he went in division and went there and coached Aaron Rodgers?
Especially after he
Wouldn't that be
quit
special?
on a napkin after one day.
Wouldn't that
would
be special?
wild.
And go back. I mean, that whole story, if you like storylines, go back to that one.
These with the NFL, sometimes I wonder like what the point is. Like, why is Tennessee so worried? Like, we got to get in the coaching trades. We got to get him now. Like, there's no transfer portal. You're not worried about losing players. There's free agency. There's the draft. Like, there's so much back channel communication. If you are going to hire a specific person, you're going to get it done. And Bill Belichick, there's no need for any of these teams to think that they have to race to do something. He is making the final decision.
What do you think?
I think the Jets is a really interesting situation. I can think of a lot of reasons why it wouldn't happen, but when you look at a team that's basically there, he's got Aaron Rodgers to run the offense for him. He can focus on defense. It makes a lot of sense. Cowboys, obviously, Jerry is going to make a play for sure.
Don't you think?
Even if they go to the Super Bowl, I think that's a conversation.
I think it's just too sexy for him to stay away from.
And you're absolutely right about that.
I just think it's sitting there, and it's so right up his alley.
You just said Bill Belichick and sexy in the same sentence.
Yeah, he is a sexy, sexy man. You don't think he's a sexy man? I'm sexy, and I know what. If you want my body and you think I'm sexy, can we do the Rod Stewart thing?
A little more Rod, yeah.
Yeah, a little more Rod. All right, 505-246-0610. Get in on anything that you got there. Cowboy fan, where are you on your head coach? I know you don't like him, but it's been super tempered down because they've won. Do you like Belichick less? If your team does not get through the second week of the playoffs, do you want to make that run? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. An AM 670 Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night football, and the Super Bowl.
Say my name, say my name.
While every other station called.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Like Ensure that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
iTunes App Store. Just search KNML.
Actually, really quickly. I'm on Cincinnati. Happy birthday to Rod Stewart. He's the greatest. This section, doing his right.
Rod Stewart, 70. Would you tell me 79? Happy birthday to Rod Stewart. I did get this on the email. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. It's from Ron. It says, Jeff, love your Jeff Belichick. Don't stop. All right. I don't know. I'm Cincinnati. Tony hates it. Told me not to do it again. 505-246-0610. You're in big today on Lobo basketball. They lost last night on the road. 83-73 at UNLV. Lobos are now 13-3. The Lobos are 1-2 in league play. San Diego State's in the pit on Saturday. Utah State's in the pit. Was it next Tuesday? So you got 2 ranked teams coming in. Bang, bang. Utah State's 3-0 in league. San Diego State's 3-0 in league. Aztecs were winners on the road last night in San Jose. Narrow victory. Utah State held off. Well, not held off. They took care of Wyoming up in Logan last night. 2 really, really, really tough ones staring you in the face.
You got to win those games at home. You want to be a conference contender and somehow build yourself an at-large resume. And January for the Lobos at home features San Diego State, Utah State, Nevada, and Boise State.
HB sent me this note. It says, are the Aztecs a must? Jeff, before last night, Lobo fans would have liked to beat San Diego State. But with 1-3 pending, is the game now a gotta have? Is this a must win or a kind of gotta have it? So, DC, there's a term, right? Must win, I always thought was like kind of overblown. It's a must. Well, so this is a game that I termed years ago a kind of gotta win game, right? I mean, it's not quite must win because it's early and you go to 1-3, but kind of got to win this one, right?
You can get away with a loss, but the win is the preferable outcome.
Well, it's always that.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I've heard you say that. I actually really like it because there's not everything's a must win.
I think that's overused. So we kind of came up with kind of got to win game.
Saturday is a kind of got to win game, which sets up Tuesday to be a must win game against Utah State.
If they lose.
Either way.
So Utah State is must win?
I think Utah State is must win. The Lobos lose.
Yes.
On Saturday. A win gives them a little bit of a margin, but you have to pick off these home games.
Well,
and I actually had the Lobos losing to San Diego State. So I had them 7-2 in January, and that was with losses to Colorado State and San Diego State. So if they can come out of January, if you're looking
January 10th, and they've already lost twice.
6-3.
Wow.
That will keep you on pace.
Okay. You're out of. Oh, you got nowhere to go. Okay.
That's why San Diego State kind of got a win game, and then it's.
Here's the idea. If you are who you think you are, if you are a contender and you think you're a contender and your fan base thinks you're a contender, right? And you lose at home to San Diego State and or Utah State, are you a contender? Where are you getting the good wins?
No.
Where's the resume? Are you an NCAA tournament? That's the next conversation. I think there's two different things, but I don't know that they are two. Be an NCAA tournament team out of this league, you got to be a contender in this league, right?
Yes, because specifically for the Lobos, because they had no non.
I think that's where it's right. Bourne just said, nervous Lobo fans. Jeff, this is the season for Lobo basketball to step on the gas. I don't think it is a stretch to think that this time next year, the roster is going to look very different. P.S. I'm loving the Rod Stewart. Do you think I'm Stiggy? I think every year, Bourne, the roster is going to look different next year. Now, this game, I'm not ready to talk about next season, but I know House and Mashburn are gone. I don't know who else is gone. But yeah. Jack says Lobo basketball hot take. Jeff, I think they're in a worse spot now than last year. At least last season they had St. Mary's and those two schools who drafted off each other until February from that one game. Lobo fan claimed it was a great win, and St. Mary's fans pointed to Lobo basketball's 14-0 start as a barometer for a great loss. This year, Lobo basketball doesn't have a win like that to milk. I think he's right, JJ. Like if you're comparing, and maybe we sit here next Wednesday and compare it, but he's not wrong. Last year, you were in a way better spot because you did have that good win to fall back on. And you didn't have any bad losses. I don't know that you have a bad loss yet. UNLV is not a bad loss. It's not, it's what, 109 is what they are, I think, net?
The point of having St. Mary's was right, but the Lobos still, going into conference play, needed to win some of those conference games. They were just hyper-focused on, this is a deeper conference than it was last year. And I know with the net rankings in the top 50, we got hyper-focused on the top 5 teams, but there's 6 teams, and Boise State is one of those teams that you can get good wins against to build a resume in this league.
Text line 505-246-0610. It says, if we get demolished by SDSU and lose to Nevada and Utah State, wow, you got a bunch of losses piling up. Attendance will start to plummet. Damn fans. No, we'll see.
Welcome to sports.
Yeah. You mean the building's full when you win and not as full when you don't win? Is that what you're telling me? Look at everybody. But yes. Text line talking about the NFL as well. Different number. Don't forget An elite defense in the Chicago Bears got to the Super Bowl with Rex freaking Grossman. Yes, they did. Not really sure what that means or what the context is, but yes. Well, maybe he was talking about the Browns when we both picked the Browns as that group of 5%ers or whatever. Okay, I'm down with that. All right. If you want to keep coming on that, you can. Louisville basketball last night, a tough loss in Vegas, and it's a weird feel. Judge, if they lose by a point last night, does it feel different than if they were down by 21 points. It's a 10-point loss. It feels way heavier than a 10-point loss, does it not?
Absolutely. It's about how they've looked in the second half of these games at Colorado State, at UNLV. They did not have a chance. You fall down by 17, you fall down by 21. The Colorado State, when you could talk yourself into, okay, on the road, third ranked team in the country, Colorado State should win that game at home. You're disappointed to be down by 17, but let's see them bounce back.
Real.
UNLV down by 21 just throws everything out the window. And I've assumed a lot about this team that they have not shown.
Last night to me was when we were sitting with Kenny Thomas yesterday, and we kick it with Kenny Thomas, a former Lobo great, every Tuesday and Friday at 9:00. And I said, this is one of those games where this is a team that doesn't have a great record but has athletes. Mm-hmm. That was a typical UNLV game to me. Lobos go in there and they run into athletes and dudes who get hot, and I don't even want to say that looked like every UNLV team I've seen over the last 25 years to me last night. Do you see where I'm going?
Huh?
I mean, it looked like every time the Lobos go in there, and they've lost 6 years in a row now, or 6 times in a row to UNLV and the Thomas and Mack during the regular season. It looked like everything I told you I was worried about yesterday was what happened yesterday. They're physical down low. They got a dude, and what Caleb Boone did to them with 29 points.
Dude, if you hear the Boone brothers are coming to town, you should be a little bit worried. They're going to cause some problems.
Well, they did. And they did, man. No, that everything I told you about last night, that was my worst fear on that. All right, 505-246-0610. I got to take this break. When we come back, we'll get back to the phones, your thoughts on Louisville basketball. I want you to get in on the rant from the Raptors coach last night. And look, this wasn't just Lobos last night. I'm going to walk you around college basketball. It was a tough night to be a favored, ranked road team in college basketball. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night football. And don't forget the Super Bowl.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Ew.
Went way too early.
So him and Rod Stewart were about the same age. This is another great classic. I mean, you can keep that up.
Let's let it breathe.
Yeah.
I remember listening to these records with my parents.
No doubt.
Dancing like wild men.
No, this is as good as it gets. All the men just called it sir. Such a good one. The opening drive, DJ DC. That's good. So, Rod Stewart and Jim Croce, same age. Yeah, that's good. Do you think I put Jim Croce?
I knew you. I knew you had.
I know our next music guy too. 505-346-06. San Lobos lose last night on the road. 83-73 in Vegas. They're 1-2. Stripe out on Saturday afternoon. You are encouraged to check not only your tickets and put them in your wallet and get there early, but to check your section and wear the appropriate color as they're looking for a cherry and white stripe out. Rudy, do you know what color your section is supposed to wear?
Oh, yeah. Section R is red.
All right. Of course it is. All right. What's happening?
Yeah. Well, that was a tough one, but here's the thing about the transfer portal. Two guys that played last night, one of them wasn't going to play if they didn't rescind the multi-transfer rule, right?
Okay.
And that was the guy that really hurt us. So there's no scouting on that guy yet. Maybe there's a little bit of what he did at Oklahoma State, but I just don't think that we were ready for that. And the thing about playing on the road is you got to be ready. And, these are lessons, and the team just has to learn their lessons. I don't know how many people are going to go into UNLV and win. I was really disappointed with their crowd. That's all they can muster is 3,500 or 3,800 people.
5,300 is what they announced.
Yeah. What did they announce?
Yeah, I saw 5,300.
Oh, still 5,300.
57-60. That's the number. 57.
Look, it's a sneaky good team. UNLV didn't go beat Creighton because they don't know how to play basketball. So some teams are going to fall there. I didn't particularly like the way we played last night. I thought the way the players carried themselves, they looked a little defeated and they got down. It's got to be more than Jalen House bringing energy. It's got to be other people. And Nelly Jr. Joseph needs to finish at the rim. And of course, they corrected the free throw shooting thing, but it's just bizarre, the officiating. There were 24 fouls called in the first half. That means they called a foul more than every minute of the first half, right?
That would be the average, yeah. Were there 24 in the first half? Holy smokes.
24, 14 on New Mexico, 10 on UNLV. Then the second half, they called 4 fouls against UNM and 5 fouls against UNLV. And UNLV took advantage of that, and they just roughed us up in the paint. And I don't know when they're going to call fouls when Coppin and Nelly Jr. Joseph were on offense, but I thought they missed a bunch of calls, and that's no excuse. But you're going to have to realize that that's life on the road. And if you're going to win a game, you just got to get a lot tougher. I think Saturday it boils down to, can they do the two things that I thought they needed to do last night that they didn't do very good? Play good defense and rebound. And they rebounded okay, but still too many second chance points. And it's talk about a competitive league. Now, UNLV's 109th right now,
107,
but they're going to move up as the season goes on. And they're a team that when they want to play and they lock in, they're going to be really good. When they don't, I guess that's how you lose to Stetson, you know? So UNM locked in. They did a good job in the out-of-conference season, and now they have to go win a game at home. And that game is San Diego State Saturday at noon, and it's going to be a war.
Very much good to hear you. 505-246-0610. That's the Rudy called to get in as well. Jeffrey, good to see you the other day, and man, it's been a minute. Welcome back. How you living?
I'm good. I'm really good. This thing, Ross, it seems like this particular team, so I'm not appreciating. It seems like their engine of efficiency is more based on their lockdown defense. And when they play really aggressive lockdown defense, it engenders, turnovers, steals, those kinds of things, a different kind of energy. And it devalues the offense initiating points, opportunities on that side, and it creates an additional opportunity on the Lobos side. So when the Lobos play extremely aggressive defense, I think their offensive efficiency is based on that. When that doesn't happen, it seems kind of obvious that they're not really, the Lobos that is, a really good outside shooting team, which is really a little surprising because I think Enzel, the 6'9" guy from Dayton, was recruited for three-point efficiency. That hasn't happened. Nelly thus far hasn't really been the dominant offensive force on that we all thought. And I'm not sure that when the three guards are playing together, that chemistry is manifesting itself. And that could be a function of, House thinks he's the man, Dent thinks he's the man, maybe Mashburn to some lesser degree thinks he's the man. But my overall thought is when the Lobos play intense, aggressive, assertive defense, it takes away the opportunity from our team, their team that they're playing not to have an offensive opportunity, and it gives the Lobos an additional opportunity because we're initiating steals, takeaways, those kinds of things. So it seems like our offense goes on runs when we play extraordinarily good, effective defense. And I'm still hopeful based on that because my final thought is we can't control offense, but we generally can control intense defense. So I'm still hopeful, disappointed, but we've got to win. We've got to win. I'm going to say at both games, but I think we can still salvage the season if we beat one of the two teams and just play really good and hold court the rest of the year.
Right
but it's good to hear you guys, and I'm a hopeful Lobo fan, man. 50 years going.
No, it's great. It's great. Welcome back, man. It's great to hear you, and thanks for the call. Jeffrey called us at 505-246-0610, and good to hear a long-time voice back with us. So the three-point shooting is an issue, man. 2 of 11. He mentioned Mustafa Amsil. Amsil, do you know what his three-point percentage is this year? Any idea?
It is
just under 13. He's just under 13%. He's like, all right, well, why is he shooting? Well, because last year at Dayton, he was 36.5%. The year before, he was 30%. His freshman year, he was north of 38%. So to Jeffrey's point, there's a history there of a dude who was able to shoot, a 6'9" guy who's able to step away from the rim. And that's a huge weapon if you've got a big guy that's able to back it out and hit the three. And it hasn't been falling. That's why he's got the green light to keep shooting like that. But to your point on, defense leads to offense, JJ, I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. That's no secret sauce when they've been good defensively. But here's the issue. They'd be good defensively against, and I'll go back to this, teams that they are theoretically better than, right? Athletically. When they've played the St. Mary's, the UNLVs, the Colorado States, they haven't been as good defensively. Yeah, they were good defensively. They forced 23 turnovers against Wyoming. Without due respect, they're better than Wyoming. And you thought they were better than UNLV. UNLV's got the athletes to play with them. Here comes the San Diego State team. JJ, this team that's coming in Saturday is not going to be intimidated by the pit. is not going to be intimidated by the defense. You've got to be super, super, super disciplined on Saturday. You got to be good. You got to hit your shots, and you got to play smart, because this is a team that, you know, a lot of teams come in. I mean, look, man, they played in front of the majority of those guys, not all of them. Played in front of 65,000 people in the Final Four last year. They're not going to be intimidated by this.
And what worries me the most is what San Diego State can do defensively to the Lobos. I know with that length and pressure, is UNLV looked like that. San Diego State's going to look like that better.
I think that's right.
And the Lobos look small at times on both ends of the floor. And, you know, Jeffrey was right. This team's been at their best when their defense, the pressure, they're turning people over, they're getting up and down. And what response are you going to get? You're coming back home, but this is different. You came back home and you responded against Wyoming. And, you know, San Diego State should light a fire under you. You should be upset. It is very disappointing what this team has done in true road games this season. And you're at home. The crowd is going to be good. The fans are hanging on, and they want to see a response. And that's the thing. As frustrating as it is, I'm very disappointed in watching those two road performances for the Lobos, but there's still a chance. And you're not going to have that chance for much longer.
Meanwhile, if you beat them on Sunday, what a feeling, right? All of a sudden, we beat the defending national runners-up. They came into our building. They're not that damn good. Big bad San Diego State. We're back. Look what we can do, right? This can, I mean, what a swing this can take. You lose, you go to 1-3, and you got, I mean, it turns from a kind of got a win game into, if you think you're going to win this league, probably a must-win game on Tuesday next week when Utah State comes in. As opposed to, if you beat them, holy smokes, look at us. We just knocked off big, bad, ranked San Diego State, the team that went to the Final Four, Final Two. I mean, the swing, I don't want to overstate the importance of one game, because I don't think this is the biggest game we've seen around here in a long time. But, man, what this could do for your psyche if you could beat them, where you are right now, coming off of what you saw last night, what this could do for your psyche as a fan base, don't you think?
Kind of got a win game.
505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Bad Street's in on Jeffrey. Jeff, maybe there's hope that one day we'll once again hear from one time. How did it just go away from me? Let me give it to you again. Man, my computer literally just shut down. Maybe there's hope that we'll once again hear from one-time legendary callers like JB, not my Mondo, not our Mondo, not your Mondo, but our Mondo, or Red Raider Troy. Yep, no, Jeffrey, DC, I don't know if you've ever heard Jeffrey. Jeffrey was a longtime contributor to the show, and good to hear him back. Wrap it up with you when we get back. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, DC. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The sports animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night football, and the Super Bowl.
This is Boomer. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indy Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquerque. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
We would like.
See, look what you're doing. Glenn says, keep the rocket rod and Jim Croce coming. From Hondo. From Glenn. So good. P.S. When you see the UNLV crowd, now you can see why the folks at the corner of University Stadium are so nervous when new venue bring pro sports down. Really? I'm not sure. It's kind of nice, don't you think? You think of a little rod in the background? We're having a party this morning. I'm feeling good. It's good. These old tunes, man, they just so right. So this is old man, get off my lawn. And I don't even care. I'll admit everything, most everything's better now. Travel's better, cars are better, communication's better now than it was, except for music. I'm with you on that. It's unfortunate to have all the technology in the world. Well, that might be the issue. Probably is. That might be the issue. Good old analog. Ross Stewart's birthday. You heard? You heard? Happy birthday to you. Lobos lose last night, 83-73, and boy, do you want to talk about it. Mike, it's up to you now. What's going on, Mike? You're on the Sports Animal.
Well, I love my Lobos. I was born and raised. I watched them when they were black and white on TV. That's how long it's been. But I like our offense through defense. I like the energy House brings. I'll take his bad with all the good that he can bring to the game. But my point I really want to bring is if we can't knock down our threes and we're guard oriented, it's not going to give us a chance around the basket. I mean, we missed a bunch of bunnies because they were just packed in on it. They gave us the three for the most part. I don't know what our ultimate, how many shots we missed. I think we made one or two.
Of your threes, you were 2 of 11 from 3-point land. 2 of 11.
Yeah, and if we can't hit those, they're just going to pack it in on our guys and just own us. But just another point is, how crucial is it based on the officiating, which group of guys game, and how, because we play so aggressive.
All right, say it again, dude. Hey, Mike, you cut out. How crucial is it based on officiating what?
Yeah, like officiating groups that come in to officiate each individual game.
Okay.
How aggressive can they be, and how that's going to play based on our fouling, getting house fouls and other players.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you're going to play around officials, I guess you know who the officials are, and I guess everybody's got a reputation.
Exactly.
You got to play who you are. And Mike, appreciate the call. Thanks. I don't know. Do you play differently depending on the officiating group? I'm not sure I've heard that very often. You're aware of how guys call it. I hear all the time in baseball, I know this umpire has a strike zone and he'll give you the low strike. And so pitchers will throw low and he won't give you the high one or whatever. Everybody's got tendencies. But I just don't know that you change what you do based on what your officiating crew is.
No, the coaches know who's officiating the game. They've been there, done that, know the style. But I think once you're in the game as a player, that's not on your mind.
I think that's right. I mean,
especially the amount of games we've all watched.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Here's what happened this morning. Bears made a decision on their head coach moving forward. In Chicago, they will keep Matt Eberflus. He is going to stay as the head coach of the Bears. However, they did make a change. Luke Getsy is out as offensive coordinator. This is kind of big. I know we don't do a lot of hockey around here, but all three of us really kind of dig the hockey. Connor Bedard, the sensation for the Blackhawks, took a shot the other day, and I don't think there was a penalty on it. It looked like it was a relatively clean shot. Broke his jaw. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. I know we don't do a ton of hockey, but some of you really like it, and that's a big, big blow for that game and certainly for the Blackhawks.
Well, he's the next big thing. His number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. But I mean, like the unanimous
in Chicago, he was the, every couple of years there's that one prospect. You're like, this dude, he's going to be that guy. And it's fascinating watching Connor Bedard because you see him and he looks like he's 12.
He does. He's a
small player, but he's fast. He can score. He can rip it. Awesome for the game, and just unfortunate. Yeah, because you watching the shot. I'm right there with you. He took a hard shot. His teammate should come stand up for the best player
and he moved,
on your team, but it wasn't dirty.
No,
his shot across the middle.
Yeah, it was hockey. He played in the Western Hockey League. I'm pretty sure for the Regina Pats is where he played. And back in the day, I used to cover that league, man. And like Jerome Iginla played in that league up in Kamloops, and Damon Lanko and Brian Boucher, who's all over. He was ESPN's guy in the crease. Now he was NBC Sports. Now he's ESPN. I wore his goalie gear in a celebrity game back in the day with Brian Boucher as goalie, and he kind of taught me how to play goal. I got some pictures when he was playing junior hockey way back in the day in the Western Hockey League. That was some fun hockey, and you saw stars.
And you lived the dream.
Did I?
Yes. Because you've done what I've been trying to do forever.
What's that?
Because I'm someone that thinks I'm good at things.
Yeah.
But I want to do like stories and clips where I go against the real athletes, and so people see how ridiculous it sounds sometimes when we go through this. So we say this player sucks or that dude's an idiot.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to do that. I've been actually trying to do that at times with certain things over at UNM, just to highlight like how good these athletes are. And all people want to do is say how much they suck.
So there's a clip. I think I've got a couple of stills somewhere. So I was playing goalie. The Tri-City Americans was the team. They did this, whatever the benefit was for. They brought out all the TV guys and with local quote unquote celebrities, right? So I played goalie. I couldn't skate. So I played goalie, and I thought I was pretty decent at it. And then Damon Lankow and Terry Ryan. Terry Ryan was like number 10 overall pick. Damon Lankow had a great career in the National Hockey League. They came out dressed as Superman and Batman. Like they had their capes on and the whole thing, and they came in. And I did, this is my claim to fame, I did stop Damon Lankow on a break.
Of the things you've done.
I did, yeah.
You're being in a boxing ring with a boxer that can turn your lights out.
Yep.
Or just even knowing that you have pads on, but like an NHL player is getting ready to take a slap shot.
Future
you
NHL
got
player,
future NHL player,
It comes
you're just
quick.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing how fast that piece of rubber comes at you. No, it comes quick. And when I was out there, they're like, you sure you want to do that? I went out to a practice.
Heck yeah, I want to do this.
And so I geared up, and those guys were taking shots at me, and it's like, whoa. It's amazing how fast. And then, guy in a breakaway and a pass, and you got to slide across the crease. It's one of those things, oh, yeah, I could do that. I'd be a good goalie. And I was better than I thought I might be. But that was one of the,
And then you try to get post to post, and you rip your groin off, and you're just like, all right, I'm done.
All right, old man, in my 20s at the time. Yeah. That, and I scored 2 points, had 2 assists for the Washington Generals against the Globetrotters.
That's awesome.
Did you really?
Yeah, I still have the uniform.
So
I had 2 points and 2 assists at the, it was at the Sun Dome in Yakima, Washington, way back in the day. I was in the books. By the way, we lost the game.
Oh, no way.
Wow, I'm shocked.
we didn't win, but I did play for the Washington Generals. One game.
That is probably my favorite Jeff story I've heard so far.
Really?
The Washington Generals.
Yeah.
Like, I took little dude to see the Globetrotters a year ago. Like,
I got it on 3/4 inch video somewhere. The video.
I am
somewhere.
impressed that you had 2 assists. Like someone else actually hit a shot in that game.
Yeah, I scored 2 points too.
Did you guys get out of single digits?
Yeah, we did. Every once in a while, you just score, and then you go down, and you're just fodder. It was crazy. The locker room and being on the bench, the whole attitude of just like, we're athletes, we know we're going to lose, but we're getting paid. It was bizarre. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowers. After that, 2 minutes here at 4. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, great work, DC. Jim Croce, Rod Stewart, happy birthday to those legends. Big day for you. You got Lobo women's basketball tonight.
6:30 pregame, Utah State in town.
Have a great call. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. Have a great day.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stuckler here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
it's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Bring it back.